What's that?
That's all board members.
Yeah, all
You can tell we liked it a lot.
so I mean, something was working. But the very first ProductCamp Austin was held actually up north on the corner of 183 and Mopac. St. Edward's University has a little extension campus up there. And we had about 90 people show up. And it worked out so well that we decided to do it again. And again and again and again. And pretty soon it turned into something really special. And that's thanks to all you guys. And we're going to talk about how we can make that continue to work. So we're going to spend some time looking back, and we're going to look forward to figure out how we can make this happen in the future as well. But let's kick off a little discussion here about what is ProductCamp. And what is ProductCamp? ProductCamp is is an idea, and it's one that's kind of spread virally around the world. And some of the big tenets of ProductCamp, some of the core tenets, the stuff you see up here. ProductCamp is an all-volunteer organization. It's put on by and for the people who come. And here in Austin, we target, by its name, ProductCamp, people who are in the product development process. Product managers, product marketers, and so on. And those are the types of people that come to ProductCamp. And the reason that we started it was because, think about the life of a product manager or product marketing manager. You know the people that you work with. And as you change jobs, maybe your network expands a little bit. Maybe you get to know a few other people. And maybe you go to 3 or 4 jobs and you meet 10 or 12 product managers each, and 10 years later you look up and maybe you know 50 people. Okay, that's how most of our networks grow. When you come to ProductCamp, you can meet 50 people in a day or in an hour. So it's a chance for product managers to get together in a place where we can teach each other, learn from one another, and network. Because Austin, up until ProductCamp, didn't really have a strong method for product management and product marketing people to get together. There were some email forums and whatnot, but there was a big void in the community. And so when ProductCamp sprung up and we started to see the growth in ProductCamp, we noticed that, wow, there's a big appetite in the community for networking events, for product management, marketing people, and an appetite to grow our skill sets collectively based on our shared knowledge. And so that's why we started. Some of the other key tenets of ProductCamp, one of these things that we call the 2-foot rule. You haven't heard the 2-foot rule? The idea, again, is that all the sessions that you go to at ProductCamp are, none of them are paid pitches. You don't go and hear a keynote. You hear a session that's put on by one of your peers in industry. And if you're sitting in a session and it's not working for you, then you can use your own 2 feet, get up, and go to another session. And all the presenters are prepared for that. Nobody's offended, although if you get up and walk out now, I'll be offended.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, well, there's the bar. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that. All the presenters are prepared for that. And, the goal of ProductCamp is to make it work for you. So, you design your own schedule, you pick the events that you go to, and it's all about you. ProductCamp is your day. The coordinating team is just the one that puts it on. It is a sponsor-driven event, so we don't charge you to come to ProductCamp. ProductCamp is free in terms of cost, whereas the people on the nerds would say free as in beer. Right? You don't have to pay anything, but you do it. But it does have a cost to put on ProductCamp. Average cost to put on ProductCamp. Who on the board can say what the average cost to put on a ProductCamp?
Colleen?
Colleen, what would you say it costs to put on a ProductCamp?
12.
Yeah. At the size that we're running, $10,000 to $12,000. When you think about the facility, the food, the drinks, if we do drinks, when you think about the materials like the signs, all that stuff, does cost real money. Thankfully, there are a lot of sponsors out there in the community who are willing to pitch in funds to make that happen, and they do it, obviously to get recognition from the community that they are supportive of product management and marketing, and hopefully you would think about patronizing them, giving them your business, but also because they recognize that it's a great opportunity to get their market together in one place that otherwise wouldn't exist, and it's because of them that we can make ProductCamp free to you guys. But again, just because it's free in terms of cost doesn't mean there's not a cost in time. So the cost is in all of our participation. We also have a strict rule about pitching at ProductCamp. The sponsors know that they're not allowed to come in and give you a sales pitch. Come to our training or buy our product. All the sponsors are very heavily prepped, and so are the presenters, but they're not supposed to do that. And we follow those rules very closely, and we'll enforce a strict punishment to anyone who violates those rules. Believe me, I know. So, ProductCamp I mentioned as an idea has sort of spread virally. There have been over, how many, 50-something of them? 51 of these worldwide. And Austin has been a real trailblazer. I don't know if you guys know this, but Austin was actually the second ProductCamp ever. The first one was in Silicon Valley. And then, you know, I and a few other people looked up and said, well, why didn't Austin have one of those? So we started. And Austin was the second one. And you can see the Austin ones are in red and the other ones are in white. You can see the growth worldwide. And Austin has become such a beacon for the other camps that many, if not all these other ones, have come to the Austin planning team at some point in their planning to say, Austin, you guys are so successful, how do you do it? We've been aiming for a long time to have the biggest product camp ever. I don't know that we're ever going to surpass the Valley just because they have so much density in product managers out there. But on a per capita basis, I would put Austin up against anybody. You know, in that last product camp that we had hundreds of people. You know, the Valley, in their last one, they had, you know, maybe 500 or 600. You know, we had maybe 100 or 2 or 150 less than them. But when you think about the density of product managers in Austin, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And the quality of our sessions is extremely, extremely high. So I'm very proud of what we've accomplished here in Austin and the example that we've set for the other groups around the world. There have been product camps on almost every continent now. Just last month, there was Product Camp Moscow. I don't know if anybody went to that one. Yeah. But you know, Product Camp is something that's popping up in almost every major metro in the United States, and there's more every day. Just yesterday, I connected 3 guys over in Nashville who were interested in starting one, and they all happened to email me and say, "Hey, Paul, how do we do this?" And so I said, "Oh, go talk to one another and figure it out." And so by participating in ProductCamp Austin, you guys are contributing to what is one of, if not the leading event and example about how to do a best-in-class product camp around the world. So you guys should also be really, really proud of what we've created because, again, it doesn't mean anything without you. So the sponsors that ProductCamp has this year, we have up here the highest sponsors, the diamond sponsors, Pragmatic Marketing. Full disclosure, I work for Pragmatic Marketing as an instructor, and Volusion. ProductCamp Austin about a year ago transitioned to yearly sponsorships. Previously, we were doing event-by-event sponsorships, and what we realized was that by just covering the cost for a singular event, that at the end of that event, you had to go back and redo it all again. And the sponsors, what we're seeing was there was a high number of sponsors who were willing to just sign up for each event, and it was creating a lot of overhead to go back and re-recruit them every time. And so what we did was we transitioned to a yearly sponsorship so that we could have some continuity and do some events like this, networking events, in between camps to provide you guys with some opportunities to get together. And so these are the sponsors for this year, and they'll sponsor up through this next camp that we're going to put on in August. And we're very thankful for them. They're the ones who help keep this free for all of us. They're not the only ones who sponsor. In the past, we've had lots of different sponsors. You can see them all listed here. All told, we've had probably how many? About, what, 30, 40 different sponsors overall, at least?
Yeah.
And they all contribute at different levels. Some of them in-kind sponsorships where they donated things like signs or T-shirts. Some of them donated money. But at an average cost of 10 to 12K per camp, these guys have really helped us make the rubber meet the road. So we're very, very thankful to our sponsors. They're the ones who help us make this possible. So thank you to them. A couple of maybe a year or two ago, we recognized that ProductCamp was becoming more than just an event in Austin. It was this thing that was happening twice a year. It was growing. You'll see in a second, you'll see the slide. It's growing basically exponentially. The trend line was going up. You guys were coming to the planning team and saying, this is great. When can we get more of this? Can we have some events in between product camps to do networking? And we looked up one day and we realized, wow, product camps